Oh my gosh. My bun is falling apart. If I find another spider in my room, die. Okay. What's up, guys? It's Kiana and welcome back to my corner. So today, as you can probably tell by the title, I'm going to be giving you guys some traveling tips because it's the season of traveling and summer vacations, and I'm getting ready to head out on vacation in a couple weeks, and so I decided that this would be an appropriate video to film, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's get into it. So I don't really have like a certain amount of tips. I'm just going to be sharing the things that I like to do to prepare myself to travel and while I'm traveling. Everybody travels differently. Everybody does stuff differently. But I thought I would share the way I do things just in case you want to take some things off my list. And you can comment down below some things from your travel preparation list that I can maybe use. So without further ado, let's get into the tips. Okay, so when I'm traveling, I like to be really prepared. So I would say the number one tip would probably be preparation. I think being prepared is necessary. If you have weeks in advance until your trip, then you should definitely start to prepare yourself. Not 3 days before you leave, but I give myself at least a week or so to completely make sure I have everything I need before the trip, just so I'm not scrambling around making sure I have everything. So one of the things I like to do is I like to start packing a week before I leave. So I have already started packing, and that's one of my travel tips because I feel like that way you can focus on the little things that you need to focus on towards leaving, like making sure you have your ID, your wallet, blah, 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 instead of like making sure everything's packed. So my first tip is to maybe start packing a week or so before you leave. So that way, you know, you can work your way up to your things that you need to pack. So yeah, so that's my number one, is maybe to start packing a week before you leave. Number two for me is to bring a book bag or some type of bag, not huge, but some type of personal item. If you're not bringing a carry-on suitcase, to bring a personal item. I like to do this because I like to carry things in it like snacks and things like that, especially if the flight is going to be quite long and you don't want to buy the expensive airplane snacks. So I would say number two tip is to bring some type of personal item, and for the other tips we'll talk about what you're going to put in that personal item. But I like to usually bring a book bag, not a ginormous one, but one that has a decent amount of pockets in it that you can fit a decent amount of things in. Number three is going to be what you could carry in your personal item. Now, this is going to seem like a bunch of tips in one, but this is what I like to keep in my personal item if I bring a book bag. I like to keep an extra pair of clothes, which is a good idea just in case if your luggage is to get lost for any reason. Wherever you go, you can have an extra pair of clothes. If you have to spend the night or anything like that, you can have a spare change of clothes. So I would always keep a change of clothes in my personal item bag. I always keep chapstick because airplanes, I feel like the air is so dry, so you need chapstick because your lips are dry. Plus, you can use it to wherever you're going. If you're going somewhere tropical, make sure your lips don't get chapped or burnt. But I would say keep an extra pair of clothes because you never know if your luggage might get lost and you need to have some clothing. If you have to stay overnight at a hotel by the airport or something, you'll have clothes. Because even sometimes when you have a layover, you don't get your luggage, so you might want to just have an extra pair of clothes. Maybe extra pair of underwear. If you're a girl, extra bra, I don't know. You decide. Another thing I like to keep in a personal item are some snacks. Now, I typically don't travel very far. I usually go from Ohio to Florida, which is about an hour-and-a-half flight, which is not long at all. But I get hungry every 10 seconds, so I like to keep a drink, and I like to have like some crackers or something to munch on my way. I usually keep at least two snacks, like a salty and a sweet, so like a candy and like a chip, and then some type of drink. That way you don't have to spend any money on the airplane, any more money that you're probably about to spend on your vacation. So I would say for your personal items, snacks and extra pairs of clothing, Another thing I like to keep in my personal item is my phone charger, because some planes you can charge on, some you can't, but even at the airport. So have an extra phone charger, or if you carry one, like a battery pack or a portable charger. That's pretty much it for what I carry in mine, because the other things that will be in my personal item are other tips, so let's get into those. Okay, so my next travel tip is probably going to be have something to do to keep you busy on the airplane, because sometimes if you're on a long flight it can get boring, and if you're like me and cannot sleep on an airplane, I usually like to bring a book. So here's a book, and not only is this good for your travel to your location, but also when you're there it can keep you busy if for some reason, we're gonna say for instance this video is based on a vacation traveling. So you're traveling on vacation, you're probably going somewhere tropical, and sometimes sitting by the beach or sitting by the pool, it's nice to have a book. So this year I'm going to be taking Maddie Diaries. If you want to know anything about my purchase in this, you can watch my vlog channel. But I love to have a book on the airplane. I get anxiety on the airplane, so reading helps with that. So I am going to be bringing a book to read on poolside and on the airplane. So that's my next tip, is to have something to keep you busy on the plane, especially if you get anxiety on planes or if you get bored easily. So that's my other tip. Another thing that might keep you busy on an airplane is listening to music or watching something on your phone. So if you have like episodes downloaded from a show onto Netflix, you can do that. Or if you have like movies in your phone from iTunes, that's always nice. But my other tip is to have a pair of headphones or earbuds, because you never know who you're going to be sitting by, or who, like if there's going to be a crying, screaming baby on there, or even a human being. Oh, a baby is a human. An adult that might be anxious and might be having like an anxiety attack next to you, and you just don't feel like dealing with that. You can have some headphones. I have a pair of Beat Studios I keep with me. These are nice because they're noise canceling, so even if I don't have music on, I can just put them on my ears if I want silence. But you can use these to listen to music, or you can just use your old trusty Apple earbuds. But I would say bring earbuds with you too, because if you're like me, sometimes earbuds get too bulky, and if I'm trying to like get comfortable, I can't. So you just have like earbuds, and if earbuds is all you have, you don't necessarily have to have headphones, but it kind of helps with the noise. So that's my other tip, is to have some type of headphones or earbuds to listen to music or something while you're on a plane, because you just never know who you're gonna be by, and you just want to tune those people out. Have some headphones or earbuds. Another thing I like to do, which is a good tip, is to only pack the amount of clothes that you're going to need while you are there. I used to have a really bad habit of packing just a bunch of random clothes out of my closet. I would literally be going for like 5 days and I'd pack like 18 outfits, because you just like, when you on a daily basis, you're not like, all right, tomorrow I'm gonna wear this outfit, the next day I'm gonna wear this. You usually typically don't know what you're gonna wear the next day. But on vacation, to keep things light and to keep your suitcase a little more organized, pack only what you're going to need. So only pack this amount of clothes that you're going to need for that vacation. Maybe a couple of extra outfits just in case if your flight gets delayed or canceled, or if you decide to stay an extra day. But like, say you're going for 5 days, do not pack 12 outfits. Maybe pack like 6 or 7, because that's a lot. For me, I have to pack a pair of pajamas for every single day I'm there because I just like to change my pajamas every night. But if you're traveling somewhere where you can wash clothes, then you should definitely only pack exactly what you need, because then you can just do laundry and you don't need all those extra clothes. Where I'm going to a family member's house, so they will have a washer and dryer, so I'm probably going to be packing really light. So my next tip is to pack as light as possible and only pack the necessities. Don't pack anything that you know you're not going to wear / use, because it just takes up too much space. And if you're checking luggage, you don't want to have to pay the weight difference if you're packing too many shoes or too many heavy weighted items. So pack light and your trip will be a lot easier. Kind of like the other tip, my next one is to use a carry-on suitcase if possible. If you're not going on a very long trip and you're able to fit all the things you need in a carry-on instead of a big checked luggage, I recommend that, because it is a lot cheaper to do a carry-on suitcase versus checking luggage. Checking luggage can get expensive, or if you go over your weight, you have to pay the difference. Unless you don't mind paying it, I would mind. I'm trying to keep my vacation cheap. But my next tip is to, if you can, this is kind of goes along with that last tip. Use a carry-on suitcase, or it's like a duffel bag. If you're going for like 3 days, you don't necessarily need to pack a checked luggage. You can just take a small little, probably just a book bag if you're going for 3 days. But if your trip, I would say, is 5 days and under, definitely use a carry-on suitcase. It's just so much cheaper and less hassle. You don't have to wait at the baggage claim for 18 hours after you get off the airplane. And yeah, so my next tip is use carry-on if you can, a carry-on suitcase if you can, just to kind of save yourself a little bit of money, because let's face it, wherever you're traveling to for vacation, you're probably going to spend your whole paycheck plus more. So try to, if you want to save some money, try to travel cheap and use a carry-on instead of checking luggage. Okay, so my next tip, and I think this might be the last one, something I like to do when I'm packing toiletries is I like to pack my toiletries in a huge Ziploc bag. The reason I like to do that is because that way, if you're traveling with, if you're putting those toiletries next to any clothing or anything, sometimes like your shampoo or your body spray can like spew on the airplane, and you don't want it to get on your clothes or anything. I mean, it's not like it's gonna stink, but still you don't want all that stuff to be all everywhere. So what I like to do is pack all my toiletries in big Ziploc baggies, or you can use just like a bag like this, but I like to use Ziploc baggies. So I put like my sponge or my loofah, whatever you want to call it, in a Ziploc bag, my shampoo, my conditioner, and body wash, all in a Ziploc baggie. And then if you need to take any other type of products with you, like feminine products, I would actually put some in your suitcase and some in your personal item if this is for a female. But that's a whole different set of situations. But yeah, I like to pack all my toiletries in Ziploc baggies. It's just really convenient, and when you're coming back from wherever you're coming from, when you're packing, if you're keeping those things in the shower, they're probably going to be wet, so you kind of want to put them in a Ziploc baggie. It just absorbs the moisture better, and you're not putting it in something that's going to make it stink. So putting toiletries in Ziploc baggies, such as razors and things like that, just that has a seal on it and you know it's not going to spill all over your stuff. Okay, and then my last tip for traveling is if you have a suitcase that is like black or like a solid color and it's like nothing that will stand out and you're checking it, I suggest to put some type of marker on it or a luggage tag, because I know a lot of times I've traveled and the old suitcase I used to have was just this black cloth suitcase that was like a basic suitcase a lot of people had. And the first year that I took it after I bought it, I was struggling to find my suitcase. Like, I think it went around the carousel, the little conveyor thing, at least 4 times, but I didn't think it was mine because I didn't have a marker on it. So I would just like wrap like a piece of fabric around it or like a little ribbon that you know that that's your suitcase, because you do not want to be standing in that baggage claim any longer than you're already going to be standing there waiting for the luggage to come out. So just put some type of marker, or if you have the money, go buy a suitcase that stands out and you know it's yours. Get it custom made, do whatever you got to do. But for a cheap thing, I used to make those little like rainbow loom bracelets, and I wrapped one around my suitcase one time, and I knew when I seen that bracelet it was my suitcase. So my last tip is to put some type of marker on your checked luggage, so that way when it comes out you know it's yours, just in case if you have like a basic piece of luggage that might blend in with other people's. Makes it a lot easier to just grab yours and go, and you don't have to like flip it over 100 times to see, make sure it's yours. That's pretty much it, guys, for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. If you're going on vacation anytime this year, if you're flying, these are good tips for flying. I think I should have mentioned that at the beginning. But even when you're traveling like in a car, it's still good to travel light, because that's just the way to go no matter what. But I hope if any of you guys are going on vacation this summer that you have a safe and fun trip. And if you're watching this and you're traveling this summer, comment down below where you're going to be traveling. I will be going to Florida this summer. I'm super stoked. I will be vlogging it, so check out my vlog channel down below. Without further ado, I'll see you guys next time on my corner. Peace out.